Aloha! Greetings, everyone. Back for another episode of the Ascension cast. Hold on one second. It looks like the camera is out of focus. Let me adjust that. And this is why I need a camera crew. Yeah, okay. If anyone's watching, give me a thumbs up. Okay, let's go to the comments. Okay, so open for comments, open for questions, open for, yeah, if you need healing or help or anything, feel free to comment. So I'm talking about stepping outside of social norms today. My life is so, well, my mother always gave me the compliment, just such an amazing, wonderful compliment. She said I had no moderation in my life. That has propelled me to amazing, extraordinary adventures and such a just wild lifestyle outside of the normal social norm. It is, oh, got a comment from Mike. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in and watching. So, my life is extraordinary. If I do something, I do it right. And I didn't really understand or realize until I read the book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Everyone he talked about had no moderation in their life. They're obsessed with their subsection. Not enough coffee yet. Obsessed with their success. It was their obsession. They devoted their whole life to their cause, to their path. Whether you are a yogi in India, a guru, whether you are a business mogul, it has to be not just I'm mildly interested. It's a hobby. It's something I dabble in. No, this is my passion. This is my life. And like I talked about in my last video, is balancing that monastic lifestyle with the layperson lifestyle. I found a really amazing balance that works for me. Eating and living an ultra pure and clean diet while being out with the people and not living in a monastery. So I balance that. And due to coyote medicine or my ability to hide, I can walk through people and they have no idea who I am, unless they do. But, I don't do anything within normal. I mean, okay, let's grow a beard. Let's, well, I got a Facebook user said, hey, so interesting. So let's grow some facial hair. Yeah, let's make it the biggest, bushiest beard possible. And hey, why not make it super whimsical and put a handlebar mustache? I was talking to someone and they're talking about that they had oppositional defiance disorder. I'm like, you do not. It's not a disorder. They consider it a disorder because you don't fit into their social norm. They can't program you. You have a mind. You think for yourself. I love attention deficit disorder. You don't want to sit down and be a robot. So they're going to try and drug you. So many of these kids, they drug with crystal meth so they can focus better. Like, come on, people. Yeah, no, the Adderall that they give kids is amphetamine salts, aka crystal methamphetamine, pretty much. I saw a video of Hitler. He was at the Olympics. Joe Rogan posted this clip, and Hitler's going like this. And he's like, oh, this dude was so tweaking. He was so tweaking. Yeah, and they gave it to our military guys like candy. I mean, it really does give, that laser focus, but it's so unhealthy. There's so many healthy alternatives that you can use to get that hyper focus and awareness. For me, Cuban espresso with lion's mane, niacin, and a few other nootropics mixed in, even, L-theanine, cancels out the side effects of the caffeine, so it's not jittery, and it just laser focus. Matcha green tea with white kratom is another good one I like. That relieves a headache and also gives you energy and focus. That's a little bit more relaxed than the Cuban espresso. But I found ways to do things on my own. I found ways to do it my way. Um, I've lived life and I've lived it my way, or I forget the song, but I believe by Frank Sinatra or something. But really, I mean, I have taken off for extended periods of time. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go and walk about. And I disappear for 3 or 4 months and drive across the country. And everybody's like, oh, the society is going to collapse and you're not going to be able to afford the gas. I'm like, I have a Prius, please. So I found ways to do it. I've lived in some of the highest cost of living places for next to nothing. A good deal is because of my diet. I eat like a peasant. Rice, beans, hemp seed. It's ultra pure, ultra healthy, and rice and beans, no matter where you are, is almost always cheap. So I can eat for probably less than $5 a day. 3 meals, less than $5 a day. So when you have a burn rate that is that little, I can get 500 miles on a tank of gasoline, and it's a 10-gallon tank. So 50 miles to the gallon, 10 gallons, that's 500 miles. And even if I had to pay, let's say, at the high end, when I was in California paying almost $7 a gallon, like sometimes I'd pay $50, $60 a tank of gas, but I could go 500 miles. So then I could do DoorDash for next to free. And, using less than 10% of my earnings to put back into the fuel tank. And I lived it my way. And California was very hard to find places to stay. So living in a Prius, I have tinted windows. I put the seats down in the back, push the front seats forward, and it fits a twin size air mattress. So I sleep comfy back there. And there would be times where, not that I would do this, but hypothetically, theoretically, I'd be doing DoorDash and I'd get the gate code to a gated community. And if it was like row houses or something, there's a bunch of different cars parked out on the street. I found my camping spot. I was safe from all those dangerous homeless people living in cars and tweakers and stuff. So I've just had fun, and you can't forget, life is a game. People get so engrossed in it. In the Peruvian tradition that I learned, in the tradition of the Caro, or basically the Incan tradition, they talk about pugliai, divine play, having fun with it. People are like, oh, you got to take life serious. No. If I was to take life seriously, I'd die of a heart attack. So many things have gone not according to plan, or it's gone in interesting ways. If I was to take it seriously, I would have had anxiety attacks and breakdowns. But I'm like, hey, it's just a game. Let me try and beat it in a different way. So it's been super fun. And, this just came to mind again. So speaking of doing it my way and having my own opinions, well, not Facebook, but PayPal appointed themselves the Ministry of Truth. Yeah, that lasted about 3 seconds. So everybody, when you mention social credit score, people are like, oh, that's a conspiracy. Look at China. Like, that's what they're trying to push for. They want electronic everything. They want electronic cars. They want electronic money. Why? So if you are not obeying their social credit and your social credit score drops, or you have opinions that differ from them, they can cut you off. A cash-based economy, it's really hard to do that. Who is this? Yes, I heard about that. PayPal is owned by China, just like TikTok. I could assume that. I didn't actually know that for sure, but makes perfect sense. So PayPal was going to appoint themselves Ministry of Truth. And if you posted misinformation, think about how many posts have you posted on Facebook and it's gotten labeled as misinformation. Give it a month, give it 6 months, give it a year. All of a sudden, oh yeah, it's kind of like the generally accepted truth. Yeah, conspiracy theory becomes conspiracy fact a lot in this day and age. But for them to come on and say, we're going to fine you $2,500 per infraction of misinformation. So if you have your PayPal hooked to your Facebook and PayPal is monitoring your Facebook, all of a sudden when Facebook flags that for misinformation, $2,500. Oh, another post with misinformation, $2,500. Another. What on earth, people? Wake up. That's not the only company. That's not the only governing body that wants to do that. We're coming into a very different day and age where they want to control us. And the biggest way we can say no is by saying no. I can't. Yep. Yeah. I don't even know what is linked to my PayPal, but they're on the chopping block. Any suggestions on what to go to? Cash App, Venmo, but isn't Venmo part of PayPal anyhow? Yeah, I got to do some research. I just heard about this and thought it was fake until actually looking at, I did a Google search because I'm like, okay, well, what is the left and, organization and mainstream saying about it? And yes, in fact, okay, yeah. PayPal, Venmo is part of PayPal. Yeah, banks are also targeting people this way. Think about the truckers in Canada. How many people had their bank accounts frozen? How many? So what's the alternative? How do we get around this? People have gone to cryptocurrencies, but I'm still skeptical because you have what's called whales. These whales own massive amounts of the cryptocurrency, and they can dump it, and then they can buy it back up. So when they do this in the stock market as well. The markets are absolutely controlled. So if you want to quash the price of something, you hold a massive amount of it, you dump it, and then that massive sell triggers other people's auto sells to sell, basically a stop sell. So if it hits below a certain price, so this massive amount selling, so there's more people selling than buying, so that will push the price of it down. And then once you break through that level of resistance that most people have their stop sell at, it'll automatically sell. And then it causes this cascading effect of all these people selling, and it completely devalues the stock or the currency or whatever it is. This is market manipulation 101. But these whales in the crypto market will dump a ton of crypto. And then when the price crashes, they'll just go back and buy it all up again. And they will make a fortune and also control it. So, so cryptocurrency, I'm highly skeptical of, and people use it as for speculation. They aren't using it as a currency. They're buying it and holding it, hoping that they're going to get rich instead of using it as an everyday item of exchange. So if you used it as a financial instrument instead of an instrument of speculation, that would completely change what cryptocurrency is. And if people would just stop buying it and holding it, hoping to be the next crypto billionaire, and just start using it, spend it, earn it, go back and forth and dump the dollar, or go to gold and silver, pieces of 8. Like back in the day, you used to have a silver coin, and then you break it. It's pre-scored, so you can break it into 8. So you have an eighth of a silver ingot, that's cumbersome. I don't know what is going to replace it, but something's coming soon. I had a little birdie on my ear that used to tell people with a little birdie on their collar what to do. So really cool guy, good friend of mine, big heart, long dedicated service. I was talking about going across the country, and I was just told him I'm hoping to get down there before the crash. He's like, you better get down there quick or avoid big cities, because any day now, So what's going to happen? I don't know. I mean, my guess is it's going to be some staged BLM style Antifa riots and the collapse of society because the banks are going to shut down. So, I mean, we might have something akin to a jubilee. From what I've heard, the good guys are winning. It's a war, though. So the bad guys could whip out some last minute Hail Mary move and screw everybody, or, have nukes go off. It's not like they're trying to prime everybody for an atomic war. I don't know, by poking a bear. A bear. So don't want to mention any hot words, but things could go hot. So my suggestion, keep a lot of potassium iodide around. That'll prevent you from getting thyroid cancer when things get hot, as in atomic hot. But who knows what's going to happen. But hopefully that scenario will be avoided. Atomic war will be avoided. And we're just going to have a huge transfer of power into a new governance where the people are in control. You no longer have these dark elite, or, I mean, even like, let's just take dark out of the picture and not, try and, argue one way or the other. Selfish. We'll just say selfish. People that have manipulated markets to control the masses. So they're like, we're getting bored with trying to control the petroleum market, and we don't want the petrodollar anymore. So we're going to crash the petroleum market and force everybody to, yep, that's very true. They are parasites. So many things I could say that would get me banned on here. I'm going to start posting videos on Rumble and a few of the others, and I will be able to more freely speak my mind. But so they wanted to crash the petrodollar because the dollar is quasi backed by petroleum. Weird relationship there. But so they want everybody to be forced to go to lithium. Well, who controls the lithium market? The Chinese. So all of a sudden, it's not going to be, the Middle East. That's America needs to right now. Either we have a choice that could benefit America. Release free energy technology. The stuff Tesla made over 100 years ago, and every other free energy device or hyper mileage device that has ever been quashed by the government and petroleum industry. Yeah, we need that released now. Not even a question, not even a suggestion. It's an order. You need to release that now to the people. Or the other option that would get us through until that happens is drill, baby, drill. America has more oil production than most of the world. So if we actually open that up, and I don't know what, a few years ago, we were, in that drill, baby, drill, and we could afford to drive places, and we could also afford to buy goods because they get delivered with petroleum. I love it. I saw this Tesla service vehicle, and it was a gasoline van. There was there's pictures of, you can't bring a gas can to a Tesla. You need to call a van that's going to drag out a generator that's gasoline powered to recharge your little electric vehicle. And yeah, your electric clean vehicle runs on coal. Your Tesla burns coal. Yeah, or runs off a nuke plant, which is quasi better, maybe not really. I mean, if they switched from uranium to thorium, the cost of energy would plummet, and there's zero chance of a meltdown. But why do they not use thorium if it's cheaper and more safe? Oh yeah, because they can't build a stockpile of depleted uranium then. Yeah, that is the only reason we have atomic plants, and all these other countries like North Korea or Iran want atomic power plants. Why? So they can build up stockpiles of depleted uranium for weaponizing. Yeah, little sneaky secret I found out when I was in Shasta. So if you go across the street from the garbage dump. There's an old buried atomic weapons dump there. A bunch of old radioactive material underneath the ground, probably leaching into the groundwater there. Yeah, that's a little hidden secret nobody knows about. So if you're ever in Shasta, stay away from the garbage dump. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, I believe that was from like the 50s or something, and they're just burying it down there and forgot about it and don't tell people about it. So I picked up a few cool little tips of information along the way. But so that was my little rant about the whole political, what's going on and the big to do there. But I mean, I live my life my way, and I don't let anybody tell me how to live my life. Like I've had people tell me, oh, you're not, working a real job. You're not doing this. I'm living life. You're trading your life for money to buy a car and a house so you can stay in, to be able to go to work, to earn money, to pay for those things that allow you to get to work. Well, right now I've minimized expenses and I've been living kind of this laissez-faire nomadic life. Whereas soon I will be I will be building resources. And then I will be able to have eventually a community. I want a healing center, a retreat center, a school, and a community for spiritually gifted people to come to learn, to grow, to share, to find community, to find family. And I want all these families to come together and be that village, be this amazing place, not of this hippy dippy, think happy thoughts. No, we are going to do the healing. We are going to look at abject truth. We're going to look at reality. We're going to be prepared. We're going to build solar farms until better technology comes out. We'll have wind turbines. We will be high tech yet off grid. We will grow our own food. We will do our own healing. It is going to be amazing. And we'll raise our children, homeschool our children. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. This is going to be heaven on earth. This is going to be Eden, the Garden of Eden again. It's going to be living the way living should be. And having enough resources come in from the workshops, the seminars, the sessions, and everybody's going to come together and kind of pull together as a community and make this happen all around the world. So it'll be a network of centers that are going to be an example to the world of what is truly possible. And that's really what my purpose here is, to be a teacher, to show people, to help them actualize their potential and see what is truly possible. That's what all my classes are about. That's what all my work is about. And people know I'm balancing that monk and warrior aspect. So a lot of people, I'll be very gentle and calm and kind of coax them along their way. But there's some people that, I'll try that. But then if they aren't listening, I'll say, look, you need to knock off the booze and bullshit, because that's the block in a lot of people's lives. That's what's holding them back. That knocking off the booze and bullshit is where they need to go. So this is, I find it interesting. I find it entertaining. I was going to have a class called Purify Your Life. That's talking about cleaning up your diet, cleaning up your environment, cleaning up your energy, cleaning up your surroundings and your group of people, and just purifying your life is why I came up with that class. But I was suggested to put on a class called Knock Off the Booze and Bullshit. That class will be actually really fun, for me at least. I have a hot seat. I like to get the audience involved. I like to get the people, the students involved. So I have a hot seat, usually a nice comfy chair. So even though it's uncomfortable for them to get out in front of a crowd sometimes, having that comfy kind of comfort of a soft, nice plush chair is always a nice thing. So get them out in the hot seat, and they go into storytelling. And in this class, I probably won't even have to give them advice myself. I'll go, just turn to the class. Okay, guys, what advice am I going to give? Knock off the booze and bullshit, which is sometimes true. And another aspect that is really important is getting people to realize that hurt people hurt people. Don't take it so personally. Like the four agreements, one of them is don't take things personally. And why? When people attack you, it's usually not because they're healthy or happy. It's because hurt people hurt people. So it's trying to come from a healing standpoint and realizing that those people are hurt and having compassion and understanding for them, yet at the same time balancing your own personal needs, and that you are a person and you have feelings and you have needs, and realizing, okay, this situation, this person is not healthy for me. I need to have some healthy boundaries. I'll have compassion, I'll have understanding, I'll give them forgiveness, but I need to have healthy boundaries in place. Let's check in. They're parasites. I don't call them elites anymore. They're parasites. That's very true. Four Agreements, favorite book ever. Yep, it's a great one to get started with. If you listen to it on a triple or quadruple speed, that's how I focus. If I'm reading something and I get bored, I like things at a very, very, very fast pace. Give me the information. Like give me the cliff notes. Actually, you know what? Just give me a summary of the cliff notes. Actually, just tell me what it's about. Just a one-liner. What is this book about? And okay, good. So I will actually listen to audiobooks on double or triple speed, depending on how fast the pace is naturally. And that forces me to actually listen to it, and I'm consuming the information a lot faster. So I don't get bored doing that. Let's see. It's not a problem of supply and demand. So we're talking about that. It's not. They're talking. I was on the stock market channel one day, and they're talking about, oh, the oil prices are falling. We need to figure out how to keep them up. That's the lifeblood in which people survive right now. So you want to figure out how to screw the common person just so you can make a little bit of money. Yeah, it's not a problem of supply and demand. There's plenty enough supply. They're just throttling it back to create a higher demand so they can create this artificial hyperinflation. They throttle back the gasoline. Oh, shipping prices are up. Oh, we need to charge more for this. We need to charge that. And then, we need a higher cost of living. So we need a higher wages. So then the stores are like, oh, we need to, we're losing money here. So we need to charge more money for the goods to pay those higher wages. Oh, guess what? We had record profits this quarter. Yeah. Okay. And then the whole lithium is just a scam. It takes more energy to produce than just using a petroleum based engine. We can get around that. Instead of lithium batteries, we can use graphene batteries. Yes, a lot better, higher energy capacity, and it's based on carbon, which you can get from pretty much anything, as opposed to lithium and mining lithium and strip mining lithium, which is horrible for the environment, and disposing of it and the cost of it. And yeah, you're right. It's not a problem of supply and demand. It's a problem of greed. Absolutely. So Facebook or Telegram group. Okay, great. She has great information. I've watched a lot of her stuff. She's an amazing adventure and traveler. Check out her group. I know that I'm going to, and we'll see what happens. I hope you come on soon as well. That would be great. We'll have to schedule a webcast soon. Let's have a video chat or a phone call or something and talk about having you on the show. And if anyone else wants to come on the show, let me know. I always love to have a conversation. And I love right now that we are having a conversation because everybody watching is being very, they're engaging. And I love that. It makes for the show so much more interesting than me just getting up here running my mouth. Maybe not for you, but for me, I get bored just getting up here and talking. So your engagement really keeps me entertained and keeps the show interesting for me. And if it's interesting for me, I can make it more interesting for you. Got a hi there. Well, hello. I'm glad you are watching. Um, Absolutely agree. So I'm not sure what that was to, but yes, thank you. Um, yeah, it should be required reading for every human. There's a lot of books that should be. And really, in the programs, that's the workshops, the seminars. I really want to not only have oh, you need to come here for the information. You got to show up every Sunday, and I will spoon feed you the Bible because it's written in Latin and you can't understand it, so you have to hear the Word of God coming through my mouth. No, I want you to come to my events, listen to my stuff, and here is where you can find more information. I'm here to open your mind. I'm here to show you what's possible. And I'm here to teach you how to ask questions to figure things out for yourself. So if you come to one of my classes and you're done, I woke you up and you're going to start finding information for yourself. Great. Horrible business model. But I'm not here for business. I'm here to change the world. And people don't understand that. They look at me, they're like, well, where are you making money? Why aren't you more successful? I'm like, okay, I've traveled the world. I've helped countless people. Okay, because my bank account doesn't have money in it to reflect that, I'm not successful to you. Okay. Magic Mike. Hi. Yeah. I mean, the tropics are definitely one of my favorite places. I just love warm weather. I've gotten a lot of bumps and bruises on my path. I've lived kind of a hard life, doing a lot of hard labor. Got really beat up in the Marine Corps. The warm tropical weather and summer-like weather just feels good to me. So the desert Southwest, I'm hoping, going to head down there, experience winter in Arizona. So we'll see how that feels. And hopefully I'll have a home there and a home somewhere on a beautiful tropical island while I have my palace, mansion, and temple. So, yep, exciting times. But that's my wall, actually. Like that's a mural I have up on my wall, and the whole rest of the room matches. I painted the whole rest of the room to match that. And interestingly enough, I did that a long time ago. And then I ended up on this very beach in Maui. It's absolutely, I love that beach. That beach was amazing. It's a nude beach and highly suggested. I can't remember the name of it, but I can post that later if you have questions or message me. So let's see where I'm at. I'm at 33 minutes. I will probably end it soon, but my biggest suggestion to everybody is live life your way, but measure your actions through love. Are they loving and respectful to everybody involved? And that's what I do. If I'm doing something and it's not loving, it's not respectful, I'll feel that and it just doesn't feel good. If I'm breaking the rules and it's a victimless crime, aka everything is done through love, and it just either organizations controlling bodies don't like it, you know what, I don't really care. And if it breaks social norm and taboo and like, okay, so I'm on walkabout and I'm not working being a robot working 9 to 5. Cry me a river. I live life on my terms. Like, I'm building an RV right now. I'm going to have it completely off grid. It's going to have 1.4 kilowatts of solar on it. I'm going to have a water processing plant. So in theory, I'll be able to stay out as long as my foodstuffs last. And then if I can forage for food as well, I can stay out a lot longer out in the wilderness. So then that will give me the opportunity to have a video studio out in nature, away from distractions, away from electromagnetic frequency, which, like, really, I found out recently after living on mountains and living out in the desert and then coming back to civilization. It's painful for me going into a city. It is so uncomfortable. Not only the electromagnetic frequencies, but I can feel everyone around me, the stress, the depression, the anger. Like walking into a giant crowd or a big city is horrible. If you have agoraphobia and you're afraid to go out into crowds, or you have anxiety, social anxiety, it's probably because you can feel everyone around you. And most of that anxiety is not yours, it's everyone else around you. So my suggestion, live on the outskirts of life. Like, I mean, I come in and I socialize, and usually on the edge of a party, on the edge of civilization, I'll just kind of be that observer, and I'll go in, interact, but I'll just kind of stay on the outskirts. And then when it's all said and done, I'll go back up on the mountain and live in my perfectly peaceful environment. I absolutely love it. In Shasti's up on the mountain, living almost exclusively for 3 weeks. I would go down into town, every few days and interact with the people. And I just really got to love being up there in that environment where I had no cell phone reception. There was no EM field up there. You're just in nature, and it was amazing. And slept out underneath the stars. Literally, quite oftentimes in my journeys, I would, if it was conducive, I would sleep out on the bare ground underneath the stars. One of my favorite times, and like I love sleeping out on the beach. I was in just west of the Redwoods, just west of the Avenue of the Giants, and there's this little beach. I think it was like General Beach or something. Like it was some unsuspecting name that you'd never know. And it just said, "Oh yeah, free camping spot" on my free camping spot app. So I'm like, okay. I missed the road, because it looked like a little driveway that went up at an angle like that. And I came back and I like, oh, that must be it. The GPS says this is it. So I'm climbing a mountain in my Prius, and a Prius has next to no ground clearance. So I'm like, climbing the sides of the road to avoid the ruts and not bottoming out. I'm scraping it. It sounds horrible. I'm like, oh, I hope I have an underneath my car left. I grew up mudding. Like my first car, I would have mud washing over the windshield. And I didn't realize just because it had four-wheel drive didn't mean it was an off-road vehicle. But anyhow, I had fun. I got it stuck. I didn't get it stuck a lot. Had a lot of fun. Then driving four-wheelers and stuff. So I drove my Prius in Hawaii up Mauna Kea during a snowstorm, past where they say four-wheel drive only. So I'm climbing these mountains in California, and I finally get to the beach after this insane long drive. And everybody just kind of does a double take. They're like, what? A Prius? How on earth? We struggled to get our jacked up four-wheel drives up here, and you got a Prius in? I'm like, yeah, it's me. I do life my way. So that was just a lot of fun. But I was out on that beach, and I kind of got the sand, moved around and positioned to be just like the most comfortable mattress. I had my sleeping bag inside my bivy sack. Bivy sack is kind of like a sleeping bag tent. This one can zip around your face. It has a screen so you can breathe and keep the mosquitoes out, keep the centipedes out, kind of. That didn't work in Hawaii. Somehow the screen got pushed down on my face, and I got bit at 4 a.m. by that guy. Felt like burning hot poker going in my face. But for the most part, it usually works. But I put the bivy sack around me on the beach to block that cold ocean wind blowing all night. And I didn't worry about the top or a rain flap or anything. I just had it open, unzipped to the stars. And here I am underneath the beach or underneath the moon on the beach. And it was just an amazing experience. I've spent a few nights there, and I'm like, I have to get going. I have a mission to accomplish. I'm recharging now. I'm healing. I'm enjoying the ocean, and I couldn't say I enjoyed swimming in the ocean because it was icy cold, and I didn't feel like doing polar bear plunges or anything because I had nowhere to get warm. And I'm like, nope. But the ocean was really cool. It had sea lions and seals and kelp, starfish. Like the rocks were covered in these giant starfish. So it was a different ocean than I've ever really experienced before. It was really beautiful, really cool. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, living life my way. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm just going to stop and spend a few days here before I continue on to SoCal. And well, actually, I met up with a friend, Brian. Yeah, I have a lot of spiritual Brians in my life. It's kind of funny. So they all get like a surname, like Brian, Brian of Canada, Brian of yeah, like yeah. So I usually describe where they're from or where they're at, and but I actually put together a Facebook chat of the Council of Brian. It was funny. We had like a half a dozen spiritual Brians there. Uh, but I met up with my friend. I didn't really remember who he was at the time. I remembered his face and I didn't remember the conversations we had. Turned out to be a really cool spiritual experience. We sat on the beach and talked all night underneath the stars and went into the secrets of the universe, and just an amazing time. And from there, I headed on down to SoCal and San Diego. I love San Diego. I didn't think I'd like California at all, but San Diego is nice. Old Town San Diego, that was a cool place. If you're ever there, hit the tobacco shop. It was amazing. They had such a cool, it was the oldest tobacco shop in California. The guys running it were absolutely amazing, had so many stories. Just to sit and spin yarn and smoke a pipe, it was just amazing. Then there's this little chocolateria. If you go, I forget the name of it right now, but best Mexican hot chocolate I've had since being in Mexico. If you're ever in San Diego, hit Old Town and hit the chocolateria and hit the cigar shop, the tobacco shop. Highly suggest it. Um, so yeah, that I enjoyed hanging out there a few days, and then continued on to Sedona from there. Well, actually, Superstition Mountain. I got to. It was different. California was, kind of controlled and beachy, and almost felt like a California daze the whole time. I was just, I was there for a lot longer than I thought I'd be. California's big. You go, oh, it's just one state. Yeah, it's like half the coast or more. It's big. But I went to Southern California, San Diego, and I'm like, okay, it just felt there's laws, rules, and regulations. You really felt like you're in the People's Republic of California, and you just could feel you couldn't have a gun on you. You couldn't do this. You couldn't do that. It was just very restricted, very held back. And then you got to the Wild West. You're in Arizona, cowboy country. And I get there and the speed limit's really high. So I had like, I forget how many miles I had to drive, but I'm like going like 85, 95 miles an hour down the highway. I can't remember where, but there's sections where it was the speed limit was really high, and I'm like, this is fun. I threw on some techno music, and I'm like, yes, I feel alive. I am flying through the desert, and I just felt alive. I had that extreme adrenaline rush. Uh, I mean, if you've never hopped on a crotch rocket or a fighter jet or something, I was watching the movie Top Gun. Surprisingly, a really good movie. I don't have many bad things to say about it, except for the fact that it's totally unrealistic. Like anywhere they're breaking the, yeah, just no. None of that movie could have ever actually happened in real life. So many rules and regulations were broken. They would have been grounded and kicked out of the military. And yeah, it doesn't work that way. But that just thrill of flying and throwing the throttle all the way forward and just shoo, the closest thing you can get as a civilian is probably a crotch rocket. Super uncomfortable. I don't think I'd ever waste money on one. Maybe. But I've gotten to play with them. And when you get above $150, going, like 150, 170 down the road, and you're just like, if you lose focus for a fraction of a second and you make a mistake, you will die. So it's that flirting with death, that, hyper focus. It forces you to focus. And it's not even fully that adrenaline dump you get. it's that knowing that you just need to hyper focus and you feel alive. You feel this rush. You feel like you're living on the edge. And it is, it's hard to have anything compared to that. It's really, I'm going through the desert and I'm finally like, yeah, I'm treating my Prius like a race car. And when I was climbing mountains in the Prius, I was treating it like a 4x4 off-road vehicle. I love my Prius. It's like a camper, off-road vehicle, race car, all in one, utility vehicle. It's so big that I can fit a twin-size mattress in the back. Put the seats down, push the seats forward, you get a twin-size mattress back there. I picked up a full-size mattress for my RV the other day. It was memory foam, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I don't think you can." I asked, "Can you fit it in the back of an SUV?" They're like, "Oh, I don't think so." And I'm like, "Okay," because I have a Prius and it's about the same size. So like, "Oh, definitely not a Prius. You'll never be able to get it to fit there." And then I got there with my Prius, and I brought straps just in case. Like always be prepared. But I got the mattress, kind of folded it, stuffed it in, and like slammed the trunk closed on it. And their jaw dropped and hit the ground. They're like, they're just like in shock. They're like, "You fit that mattress in your Prius." I'm like, "Yeah, I did. Of course I did. It's a Prius. I love my Prius." When I was first looking at Priuses, I'm like, well, I like the gas mileage, but it's just such an ugly vehicle. It's weird looking. It doesn't look like a normal car. That's my favorite part now. Yeah, it gets great gas mileage, but the fact that I can use it as a camper that gets 55 miles to the gallon on occasion, like 50 consistently, yeah, I love that car. That's a perfect walkabout car. I can just zip around the country for next to no money, and it's been a blast. I really had such an amazing summer going on walkabout, going from Ohio to South Carolina to Washington, down the coast, Arizona, Colorado, back to South Carolina, back up to Ohio. So I did a full lap, and I'm about to start my second lap of the country here within a week or two. As soon as I get the RV all completed, put back together, three out of the six panels have brackets that I've welded for them so far. I just have to weld another set of three brackets. Do a little bit of DoorDash, make some petty cash, make sure I'm comfy on being able to afford the fuel and everything. Complete the bedroom, get that mattress put in once I get the bed complete and the bedroom complete. Solar panels on the top, waterproof the front, finish that, put the lights on, and I'm good to go. I'm heading west. I got my car carrier, going to drag my Prius behind me, and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to be living out in the desert of Arizona and Sedona. So many adventures to come. I will be bringing skis as well because that'll be fun. So I think I will bid adieu. I'm going to bring this episode to a close, and I look forward to connecting with everybody again soon. I'm trying to make this a more regular thing, the webcast. I really wanted to over the weekend, and I've been meaning to. I'm like, I'm going to get on every day, but I've been waking up, getting to work, or door dashing, so I might be able to DoorDash and do a webcast, or I don't know. We'll see. Hey, maybe I'll even, while I'm working on the RV, throw on a webcast. Or take you on a tour of it. So we'll see what's possible. So love and light to everybody, and aloha. I will see you soon. A hui ho. Okay, I got to bring it back up to there. And just... Okay, well, love and light.
We hope you enjoyed this video session. Please support the Infinite Love Movement by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Visit theinfinitelovemovement.org to sign up for healing sessions, classes, and events with Brian. Find your